Hi guys, I'm Dave in real life and welcome to today's
Unmissable
Art Tag.
starting with hot tag, and obviously the biggest story of the last 24 hours is that of Corey Graves being removed from NXT last night. Obviously, he had been pushed down from SmackDown. Well, he wasn't even just pushed down from SmackDown. Michael Cole got moved over to Monday Night Raw, and obviously Corey Graves was meant to go with him, should have gone with him, but WWE brought back in the part-timer Pat McAfee. Obviously, Pat McAfee, well known for doing college football, and is a part of that commentary team. So to be Corey Graves to be replaced by a part-timer, so to say, it's a little bit of a kick in the teeth. I mean, they could have kept him on SmackDown, but that would have meant him, Wade Barrett, and Joe Testalaw working together. I have no problem with three-man teams, but to throw him down to NXT, yeah, we did find this very, very strange when we saw this last week at New Year's Evil. But you know what? He was still on TV. He was still doing his job, so to say. But clearly, this has upset Corey Graves to the fact that he tweeted out this. Imagine chasing your dream, then being told, brackets not deciding, that your future is no longer physically able to pursue your dream, or you're no longer able to physically pursue your dream. Obviously, this part talks about his wrestling career. Obviously, he did pick up a career-ending injury, which meant that he pretty much could not wrestle anymore. That literally is a bad point of your career. What do you do next when you cannot do the thing that you love? Then you dedicate your life to something dream adjacent and being pretty effing good at it. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told that you're not famous enough to do your job. I mean, obviously, this is referring to Pat McAfee replacing Corey Graves on Raw, or even being replaced on SmackDown. It's like literally the biggest kick in the teeth as a commentator. Corey Graves is probably one of the best play-by-play commentators, or at least the co-commentator uh, in WWE. In my opinion, I love his insights. He's very comical, very dry. He had something different, and I think he could have worked on a three-man team on Raw with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, if I'm being honest. But yeah, been putting him down on NXT is pretty much a kick in the teeth, and he's saying, "Look, I'm not famous enough." That is definitely a direct dig at Pat McAfee. But you know what I mean. What are your thoughts on this? And again, just in case you were wondering where I have been, I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, when you looked at the opening of Raw on Netflix, you saw Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, and it's like, where's Corey Graves? And then obviously we've got to New Year's Evil. There is Corey Graves, and it's like, why is he on NXT? What the hell's going off here? And apparently he was part of their team, which it did just feel like a big, massive kick in the teeth, to be honest, even as a fan watching. But then he did tweet out further. This, for me, though, is where a line was drawn, because like the first tweet felt like that was from the heart. That was a personal tweet. That was a guy what was just like totally confused with what was going on. But this next tweet looked like a work tweet. Like maybe he had just decided that you know what, that the first tweet, I need to amend this. So I'm going to explain everything on NXT tonight, which this is pretty much what it said. I've got a lot to say. Don't miss NXT tonight on the CW. Then he had a mic and fire emoji, which just means that he was going to talk from the hip. He was going to speak from the heart throughout the show and really let his thoughts be known about the situation. But like I say, this obviously got him in hot water. All these tweets didn't go too well for Corey Graves. As aforementioned, he got removed from last night's NXT. I don't know what the future is for Corey Graves going forward. I don't think he's being fired. I certainly think he's going to have a slap on the wrist, and maybe they'll work this into a shoot, into a work. Sorry, so they'll move the shoot into a work. Maybe that's what they've got planned. I don't know, but yeah, a lot of people are speculating, could this lead to a match at WrestleMania 41, Corey Graves versus Pat McAfee? I mean, personally, would that work? I mean, I don't know where Corey Graves is with his physicality. I don't know how much training he's done, whether he's actually genuinely cleared. I mean, people saying he is cleared to wrestle, but I don't know where he is in his training. Certainly, Pat McAfee has had a fair few wrestling matches, but they're very sporadic as well. So I think throwing this match together would be quite weird. And I don't think it's a match that I'm particularly looking forward to. I mean, yeah, they could, if they did it like a proper shoot, so we don't have the camera crew following Pat McAfee or something, and he gets attacked by Corey Graves, and then we just get it second hand, then I'll be down for something like that leading to WrestleMania 41. But if we've got the camera crews actually following and we see the attacks and this and of it, that's where I'll probably tap out and think, no, I don't really want that. I just don't think that's a good enough feud for that kind of footage. But let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Is this a way of Corey Graves coming back to a wrestling ring? Or is this just, I don't know, it feels a little bit like sour grapes as well. You know, why have I been booted off the main show? Why is Pat McAfee taking my spot? Am I not big enough of a star? I mean, that's pretty much what I'm taking home from it. Hopefully, we do see Corey Graves again in WWE. If not, it'll go to AEW, and I think they might benefit from him even more. So it's very interesting. We'll keep our eye on this. Is it a work? Is it a shoot? Oh, only time will tell. But honestly, this has been the major story of this week, and has took a lot of time up on this video. So we are gonna, without further ado, go into NXT.
Are you ready?
So, are you ready for NXT? Honestly, this show last night was amazing, other than the Corey Graves news, which pretty much dominated our live watch along and basically the conversation. But we did have a wrestling show which took place last night in the Performance Center. We started off the show with Obafemi. I mean, Obafemi literally came to the ring, looked like he was going to do the normal traditional promo. I feel very destined to be the NXT champion, la 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 la. But he just basically said, "Look, this was not like. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I knew this was my destiny. I told you from day one that I was going to be champion. I've been North American champion. I am now going to be the longest NXT champion." This did bring out Tony D'Angelo, and he obviously got in the face of Obafemi and said, "Look, well done on your championship. Do remember the last person who beat you was me." Obviously, he took the North American championship from Obafemi. So we're certainly letting him know that he considered himself basically the number one contender. But Obafemi just said, "Look, why would you be number one contender when you struggled and you got attacked by Santa Claus?" Which then would bring out Ridge Holland with that very picture of him being Tony D'Angelo being attacked by Santa, which obviously was Ridge Holland. This would end up with them two brawling outside of the ring. We did get a further segment when they were brawling in the car park, the famous NXT car park. But then this got Obafemi obviously distracted enough for Eddie Thorpe to come from behind and attack Obafemi with a bell rope. So he got a beat down, did Obafemi, and Eddie Thorpe has now weaseled himself in yet again to another title shot. Not doing it the traditional way, Eddie Thorpe doing it the sneak attack, pretending to be injured and all that kind of tactics. But he has got himself a title match on next week's NXT. But this opening segment was to basically build for next week's NXT, which is going to be NXT Title Tuesday. We've got Obafemi taking on Eddie Thorpe. And then we've got Tony Delangelo defending the North American Championship against Ridge Holland. So next week, absolutely huge episode of NXT 2 major title matches on the card. And yeah, what a great opening segment. Obafemi is just absolutely a beast. Then we go on to the number one women's contendership match for the North American Championship, which saw Shotzi taking on Stephanie McCur. Obviously, we said this last week that I didn't think Stephanie needed another match for the number one contendership. But obviously, I think we're telling a huger story here because during this match, Shotzi had help from the Fatal Influence. Well, first, JC Jane came down to get involved in the match, which had both Stephanie and Shotzi grab her hair and headbutt her, which was pretty cool. But JC Jane was there to obviously be the distraction, allowing Fallon Henley to come down to ringside. And yeah, she ended up attacking Stephanie McCur, which led to Shotzi picking up a major victory. I mean, this was insane. Nobody, I think, had Shotzi winning, but Shotzi got the victory and will face Fallon Henley in Atlanta in 2 weeks' time for the NXT Championship. But where does this leave Stephanie McCur? I feel that this is a bigger story. Maybe this is going to end up with Stephanie McCur challenging Fallon Henley at Vengeance Day, which is the next NXT pay-per-view. So very interesting times in the North American female division there, and obviously big implications in the next couple of weeks. So we're not only getting matches for next week with the men's, we're also looking for 2 weeks' time in Atlanta, which seems to be an extremely big show. So lots of excitement going off there. Then we had Faxion retain in the Tag Team Championship match against the OTM. This was a really good match. It even had DIY. This was the night's main event. Don't worry, we'll go to the other stuff in a minute. But yeah, this had obviously big eyes on it from the Tag Team Champions from SmackDown. DIY in attendance, stood in the crow's nest, watching over their opponents. I mean, this was quite an enjoyable match. Which obviously Faxion retained yet again. It does look like they're setting up another match further down the line. Don't know if this will be at Vengeance Day or will this be in Atlanta because DIY versus Faxion. It will be absolutely an amazing match. And yep, you've got it. Sign me up because that match will be absolutely amazing. And honestly, they've done a lot of work on NXT last night, building up future shows, which didn't take away from this show. I mean, this show was fire. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, well done, NXT, for really putting on a great, great show. Then we had a weird appearance in the crowd, something that literally shocked us all, and that's Masha Slamovich, the TNA Knockouts champion. Obviously, there is a big TNA PLE this weekend, a PLE that is still called pay-per-view. But yeah, this Sunday is Genesis. So she was in attendance during the Cora Jade Kalani Jordan match. I mean, Cora Jade actually highballing Masha at one point. So is there a future match down the line for these two? I don't know if it'll be on TNA or NXT, but yeah, they were teasing a little bit on last night's NXT, which was really cool. So yeah, obviously TNA pay-per-view this weekend. Genesis, absolutely amazing cards. Obviously we're going to keep one eye on that because of Joe Hendry is in that main event against Nick Nemeth. Say his name. Will he be TNA champ? Honestly, cannot wait to see how that all plays out this weekend. But yeah, great to see TNA getting promoted on NXT, even to the point where the commentary team also mentioned Genesis. That was fascinating. Then we got to the last spot of the show, and it was Roxanne Perez come out, and I mean, she was literally bragging in a way that she started the female division in NXT, that she was the true leader as champ. She was taking it to levels that was never seen before, and that, you know, it will drag and fail without her being champ. We did see before Roxanne come out, a car arrive, and all we saw was boots. I mean, clearly it was a female, but we wasn't sure who. It was like, who's this? Who's coming? Oh my god, what's going off? And we didn't wait long to find out who it was. Bailey's music hit. I mean, Bailey. Oh my god, is she owning wrestling right now? Because she was in San Jose on Monday night. She was in NXT. She's got a big title match against Tiffany on Friday on SmackDown. I mean, Bailey's absolutely everywhere. And she just got in the face of Roxanne Perez and said, "Look, you haven't started yet. I mean, you're talking about you being the face of the female division. I am the true face. I have done everything. I started this way back with Sasha Banks and stuff. She didn't mention Sasha, but you know what I'm saying. She was a part of that first revolution, the first group of major women coming from NXT. Uh, Roxanne then proceeded to slap at Bailey in the face, and they had a beat down as the show went off air. I mean, it actually went off air earlier in America, apparently. So they missed the actual beat down. But here on Netflix, we caught it, but still, we went to blank. Don't know if there was any more fallout after that, but obviously, there's no footage emerged. So yeah, that's how NXT finished, which is really cool. It was a great show. Honestly, if you do have time and you've got Netflix, please go and check it out because it's well worth its time. I gave the show an enjoyable 7.75. Maybe scored it a little bit higher than what I should do. I did think it was a better show than Raw, although Raw was fire too. But yeah, honestly, WWE at the minute are knocking it out of the park. Both Raw was brilliant, NXT was even more brilliant. SmackDown, it's your turn next. But yeah, we're going to go on to the final segment. A little bit of a change to how we've presented this before, but hopefully you enjoy it just the same. But it's time for
Brother, 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 brother.
This is the part where we have a look at some of the funnier pictures from this episode of NXT, or just in general, just stuff that I didn't really pack into the main video. So yeah, we're just going to have a good old look at this. So yes, there was a botched graphic drawing the tag team match what was on the show last night. Obviously, Alba Fire taking the Unholy Union taking on the Meta Ladies. That was Jakara Jackson and, of course, Last Legend. But the graphic kind of botched because Alba Fire was replaced by JC Jane. I mean, I don't know what's going off here, but yeah, the graphics guy said because this was an absolute major botch. Yeah, obviously Isla Dawn's still in the image, but for some reason they put JC Jane in the place. So that was very, very strange. And then we've got Obafemi gives Damian Priest vibes backstage. Obviously, we saw Damian Priest pick up JD quite high. But this is Obafemi's version. And yes, yet again, it's Robert Stone. What's in the crossfire? To the absolute adulation, of course, of Stevie Turner, who said, "Beat him up, go on, beat him up." Makes me very cool. Poor old Robert Stone always gets the wrong end of this. He gets the raw end of the stick. Then we saw Shawn and Roxanne Perez backstage. We were meant to see this. I don't know what this implicates. Does it mean that Roxanne could get a call up to the main roster? Is it the Royal Rumble? Certainly, Shawn Michaels having a good conversation with her, but she does look quite upset, to be honest. She's just been told that she's not getting a rematch with Julia. I don't know what's going off there, but we were definitely meant to see it. Andre Chase as well in the background during the Ethan Page and Dante Chen segment. Looking dishevelled. I mean, he's lost. Where are his mates? Where is Thea Hale? Where is Duke Hudson? They've just left him on his own. Where are they? I mean, come and save your leader. I mean, this is terrible neglect. I mean, obviously he's missing Chase U, but where are the ex-Chase U members? They've all disappeared, getting on with their lives, and poor old Andre Chase is just left to swallow in the background. I mean, what's going off here? Call yourselves mates? Poor old Andre Chase. I'll take you in. You could be my mate. You're going to be my best mate. Bless him. Oh, somebody save Andre Chess, please. Anyway, spotted backstage was some of the main stars who are one legend, one Hall of Fame, well, a future Hall of Famer and Hall of Famer. Not quite returned back to the ring yet, but we saw Charlotte Flair hanging around with the Meta Girls, which was pretty cool. Look at Charlotte looking fire. Can't wait for her to return back to the main roster. And then we had Mickie James. Hardcore Country. Mickie James hanging around at the back with Carmen Petrovic. Hopefully she teaches Carmen Petrovic how to kiss. A lot of people talking about this botch backstage with Adonis when she kisses him. Oh my God, the kiss on the cheek and then try to make it out as if they're smooching. I don't know what Carmen Petrovic's relationship is outside of WWE. Obviously, she might have a partner or just not feeling that it's appropriate to actually kiss somebody she's not dating. I don't quite know the full backstory of this. But yeah, they tried to make a passionate kiss look real, even though they were clearly kissing each other's cheek. So yeah, Mickie James has got a work to do. She needs to have a word with Carmen Petrovic and teach her how to kiss on screen. Other than that, we had this text message from text message. It was a message on X from Trick Williams, which very interesting. Has got major complications regarding his future, and it simply just says, "Need to figure out what my next move is going to be." I mean, that screams main roster to me. That screams Royal Rumble. We didn't see him on the show at all last night, but yeah, I need to figure out what my next move will be. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, a lot of rumors are going around that he's going to go to the main roster at some point. Maybe this is the clearest indication of that move. Sticks out to me the next move, and there's only one move is up to the main roster in my opinion, so that's very, very interesting. So yeah, that is it for today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully it's not too overpacked, but we are raking in quite hard with over 22 minutes. So yeah, unbelievable, quite a long video. So I'll not ramble on at the end. Let me know what you thought of the Corey Graves situation in the comment section below, and let me know what you thought of last night's NXT. What you're excited for, because obviously next week's NXT Title Tuesday is going to be epic, and yes, we will be back live next week for NXT. Before then, though, we are back live on the channel for SmackDown on Friday, so make sure that you were available for that. Anyway, I've been Dave in real life. You guys have been awesome. Until the next time, bye for now.